January 1st, 1914, two separate nations, one colonial decision, and the birth of Africa's most populous country. This is the story of how Nigeria was created and why that decision still shapes the country over 100 years later. To understand how Nigeria came together, we first need to understand how divided it was. In the late 1800s, what we now call Nigeria wasn't one place at all. It was hundreds of ethnic groups, kingdoms, and communities with their own languages, cultures, and system of government. But the British had other plans. By 1861, the British had seized Lagos, turning it into a colony. They wanted to control trade routes and stop other European powers from claiming this resource-rich region. Over the next few decades, they expanded aggressively in the south. They created the Oil Rivers Protectorate in 1885, later renamed the Niger Coast Protectorate. In the north, a private company called the Royal Niger Company basically ran things like their own personal empire. But by 1900, the British government said enough and took direct control. They created two separate protectorates, the Protectorate of the Northern Nigeria, led by Frederick Lugard, and the Protectorate of Southern Nigeria, which absorbed Lagos Colony by 1906. These weren't just different on paper, they had different governors, different laws, different currencies in some cases, and completely different ways of being ruled. Then enter Frederick Lugard, the man who would literally create Nigeria. You see, Lugard was a British military officer and colonial administrator who became the first High Commissioner of Northern Nigeria in 1900, and he had a system. It was called the indirect rule. Instead of replacing local leaders, Lugard worked through them, especially the powerful Islamic emirs in the north. He let them keep their authority, their courts, their tax system, as long as they answered to him. It was cheaper, more efficient, and the emirs got to maintain their power. Win-win for the British. But here's the problem. This system worked great in the Arakan north with its centralized emirates. In the south, not so much. The Yoruba, Igbo, and other southern groups had more decentralized system. You couldn't just find one king and walk through them. By the early 1910s, another problem emerged. Money. The Northern Protectorate was broke. Constant deficits. Meanwhile, the south, with its palm oil trade and coastal access, was making bank. The north needed the south's money. The British needed to cut administrative costs, and Lugard had an idea that would change everything. Between 1912 and 1914, the British Colonial Office made a decision that would echo through history. The numbers didn't lie. Running two separate colonial governments was expensive and inefficient. The north was hemorrhaging money, depending on grant from both the south and London. British officials started seriously considering a merger. The Colonial Office recalled Lugard from his retirement and appointed him Governor General with one mission: merge the protectorates. He arrived in 1912 and immediately began planning. Throughout 1913, Lugard worked on the details. Lagos would become the capital. A central secretariat would be established. The North and South would keep some separate administrative systems. Indirect rule would be extended or attempted throughout the new territory. Legal and governmental frameworks needed to be reconciled. On January 1, 1914, it became official. The Protectorate of Northern Nigeria and the Protectorate of Southern Nigeria were merged to create the Colony and Protectorate of Nigeria. Frederick Lugard became the first Governor General of a unified Nigeria. One country, one administration, one name. But here's what they didn't tell you in the history book. The amalgamation was administrative, not cultural. It created a country on paper, not in heart and mind. The North and South continued to govern almost separately. Different legal systems persisted. The indirect rule system that worked in the North was forced onto southern communities, where it created resentment. Ethnic groups that have never seen themselves as one nation were suddenly told they were Nigerian. And you can see the legacy today. The North-South divide in Nigerian politics, the tensions between the ethnic groups, the debates over federalism and power sharing, the Biafran War of the 1960s. All of this traces back to the decision of 1914. Nigeria wasn't discovered. It wasn't a natural nation state that evolved over centuries. It was created by colonial administrators for colonial convenience. But here's the thing, despite everything, Nigerians survived. 200 plus million people, over 500 languages, hundreds of ethnic groups, and somehow it works, even when it doesn't. The amalgamation of 1914 created Nigeria, but Nigerians created what Nigeria has become. So that's how Nigeria became one nation. What do you think? Was the amalgamation a mistake or was it inevitable? Let me know in the comments below. If you learned something new, kindly please smash that like button today and subscribe for more African history deep dives. And hit the notification bell so you can never miss an upload. I will see you in the next one. Peace.